It's close to 2 years since the last mass-produced car rolled off a production line in Australia, but Labor is setting its sights on creating tens of thousands of jobs in electric car manufacturing and innovation. The ambition is set out in a policy launch today in Melbourne by Shadow Industry Minister Kim Carr. He's talking here with political editor Andrew Probyn.
Kim Carr, you're announcing Labor's electric vehicle manufacturing and innovation strategy. Is your ambition to resurrect the car industry in Australia?
We've got to maintain capabilities and build upon it. I want to see as many vehicles who are driven on Australian roads made in Australia as possible. It may not be that we can have full vehicles made here, but we want to keep as many parts made in Australia as possible, develop our part of the global supply chain, have the research and development undertaken here, and ensure that we keep the jobs in Australia.
The last mass-produced car in Australia rolled off the Holden production line in October 2017. Isn't it too late to restart a big industry, or one that's more than boutique?
No, it's not. We still have 60 Tier 1 producers. We still have global supply chains available here in Australia. We have companies who are currently operating and exporting electric vehicles. We can start again and can ensure that we keep blue-collar jobs in Australia. We have the very best scientists, we have the very best researchers. We want to be part of that global supply effort, and we can ensure that Australians enjoy the very best of the new technologies, which will keep prices down and keep these vehicles safe.
Your strategy comes with a $57 million price tag. What does that actually buy?
That buys access to research and development, access to component manufacture, access to contract development, access to ensuring that we plug into other aspects of Labor's program, including the Clean Energy Finance Corporation, the Advanced Manufacturing Fund, our research and training, and our research and development program.
So what interest have you had from car executives, international car executives, in co-investment options?
Massive. We've had very, very substantial support. There are international car executives that have met with us already. We know that there is an enormous appetite for the skills and capabilities of Australians. The Australian workforce is highly skilled. We want to make sure that Australian workers have the opportunities to exercise those skills. Australian companies are highly regarded. We have Australian managers that are highly regarded in the international centres of the automotive industry around the world. I want to make sure they have the opportunity to participate in the revolution that is occurring in electric and hydrogen vehicles.
So can you confirm that US car manufacturing executives have been to Australia to talk to you about this?
Yes, I can confirm that.
Are we talking the big name companies here?
I have spoken to the international car companies, and we have had opportunities to open up new research and development global centres in Australia. There is a demand for Australian skills. There is an opportunity here, enormous opportunity, as the recent Senate report identified. There's a question of the lack of policy leadership from Canberra. We need to ensure that that changes. We need to move to the future. We need a bridge to the future that only a Labor government can provide.
Now, Labor's set a 50% target of new cars being electric by 2030. That's not only ambitious, but it's also a target that's going to require some considerable government intervention, isn't it?
It requires support for hydrogen vehicles, hybrid vehicles, electric vehicles. It's ambitious, but it is realisable. We can do it. We have the skills, we have the technology. We will see, as a result of that technology, prices come down. We have to have the government policy that brings together the industry to ensure that we get the very best science and the very best industrial skills brought together to produce the very best products for Australians and, of course, to operate safely.
Well, one man's support is another man's intervention. This report by arena talked about the need for moderate intervention to achieve 49%. Well, we're talking about fringe benefits tax, tightening vehicle emission standards, using transit lanes for electric vehicles, all sorts of things, including subsidised registration. Is this the sort of thing that you will ask for, demand, and who's going to pay for it?
Well, we don't look at those things at the moment. We're not asking those things at the moment. What we're looking for is support for industry to adapt its skills and its capabilities, to attract new investment, to ensure that we have the new technologies which will encourage prices to fall. In fact, we are looking at the new training opportunities, and the funds are available to ensure that that occurs. We're looking at the new research and development opportunities. We're looking at the new ways in which we can secure the proper regulations so that vehicles can be operated safely. We want to make sure that Australians can have confidence about the future development of a hydrogen strategy. Now, this applies not just to cars, it applies to trucks, it applies to trains, it applies to buses. It is an opportunity that Australians can't afford to miss. And this government is doing its very well best to put its head in the sand and to try to do all it can to pretend that there is not going to be a future that involves the electrification of the Australian transport fleet.
Kim Carr, final question. It's 2030. What does the car fleet look like if it is 50% electric? Of those, that 50% electric, how many will actually be on hydrogen?
Well, there will be opportunities here for hybrid vehicles. For full electric vehicles, there'll be opportunities here to ensure that there are different types of vehicles available. 50% of the fleet will still remain petrol, the diesels. There are different fuel systems available, LPG. We will ensure that we have the full range of capabilities to meet the needs of Australians. This is a target that allows us to develop the new technologies to allow us to keep prices down and the skills up in Australia. We want to see lots more jobs, and according to the independent modelling, 30,000 new jobs can come about as a result of the development of these policies.
Kim Carr, thanks for your time.
Thank you.